Welcome everyone to another Conversations in the Void. I'm your host, Graveyard, joined as always with my producer, Salem. Make sure to say hi to Salem in the chat. I am pleased to introduce our guest for tonight. He is co-host of the Cemetery Cinema and the host of the Mad Darbarian post-apocalyptic theater movie reviews. Please welcome the Void, the one and only, the Mad Darbarian.
Greetings, warriors! Welcome to the podcast. How you doing? Hello, Chicago.
Yeah, Chi-Town. It's rainy again. It's been raining for 2 weeks straight here.
Oh, good. That means the Cubs won't be able to play the Phillies well. Good.
The Cubs can't play anyone well.
Never know, man. Baseball's tricky, man. They'll suck at the beginning of the year and then bang. Like the Phillies when they went to the World Series 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Horrible in April, horrible in May, and then it was just like Memorial Day weekend. They took off, so you never know.
Just need a little bit warm weather, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Opening day is always just so cold and 32 degrees here in Chicago.
I worked for the Phillies for 7 years. I know, man.
Yeah.
Especially opening day, right? If it's during the day, it's fine. If it's opening day and it's night, right? Like 3 sweaters, a jacket. Heavy duty hat.
More heavy duty than what you got right now.
Oh God! Okay, man. That's my spring hat. You know
exactly. All right. Well, Darbarian. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, I'd like to get to know a little bit more about you and your love of horror. So, what really brought you into the world of horror? Do you call it your first horror movie?
My first horror movie would probably be. I actually think it was the Wolfman, the original Wolfman. Now in the Philadelphia area, right? Mm-hmm. We had a fella. His name was Dr. Shock. Okay, and he was our horror host from '69 to '79, and he died he was 40. Ooh, too many crickets. He was 42 years old when he passed away. Oh, wow. But he was. If Philadelphia was going to have like a Mount Rushmore. You'd have Ben Franklin, George Washington, William Penn, and Dr. Shock, right? and that's where I first saw the original Wolfman. And as a kid, I was like 6, 7 years old, right? 79 or 69. And just watching the transformation, right? As a little kid, I was like, holy, and that's before CGI. Yeah. That's before like the Werewolf of London, which was the next great amazing.
Yes.
Then the Howling, right? They're amazing transformations, as opposed to did you ever see the Turkish Wolfman?
I have not.
Oh, dude, I will send you the clip of the transformation.
Yeah.
It's like he's sitting there and then they put patches on his face, right? And he just and you could tell he's sitting there and they put the patches on the next scene. And then he goes to make a growl, right? Mm-hmm. And he was speaking in Turkish. I will send you the clip.
Yeah,
you will enjoy it. It's bad, so bad, worth watching.
Oh, I like I said, I love the past 100+ years of horror. I have every Universal classic monster movie I can on Laserdisc. I have all the Hammer horror as well, just because the classics are classics for a reason.
And physical media, trust me, because unless you want to join every service, you know what I mean? Physical media is the way to go. I mean, that's between physical media and then me downloading all my discs onto a hard drive, because it's crazy now. I mean, it
is. Well, it's what's really ironic, because being in the indie scene is people obviously first and foremost want physical media when we go to cons and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And now we're seeing a huge resurgence of air-unwind VHS tapes for new movies.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Plus, it's also record albums.
Yep.
Right. I mean, I forget what band it was 2 years ago. I don't know, it was Def Leppard or something. They sold more albums than they did CDs of whatever compilation album that they came out with, like Def Leppard, the Best of 7 or something.
Yeah.
But they sold more albums than they did CDs.
Yeah.
And they had more download. They sold more albums than downloads. It was more albums than downloads, and I forget what the number was, but it was amazing. It was just, you know.
Well, it's funny. You walk into a Target and you see vinyls there. You walk into Walmart, you see VHS there. I'm just going, this is cool. I appreciate the physical media. Love it because it's, I grew up at a time where physical media was, if you didn't have it in your possession, you couldn't see it or read it.
Oh yeah.
But
God, Blockbuster Friday nights, man.
Yep.
Right. It's funny. My boys are 21 and 23 now. Right.
Okay.
Their core memories of Friday night, right, are us going to whatever baseball, flag football game it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Leaving there, going to Blockbuster, picking up a movie, then picking up a pizza at the place next door, right? And it just breaks me up because I would come walking in, and the guy that ran the place knew that I liked like horror movies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, like for example, the Australian New Zealand Black Sheep.
Yes,
you ever see that?
Oh, right? Love it. The New Zealand. It's the New Zealand Evil Dead, essentially. Yeah.
But like I'll come walking in, right, and the guy would be like, "Hey, Johnny, I got something here for you," right? And he would literally when the good one would come in, he'd put it in a drawer for me, right? So my kids, we come in and we would get like cars or bingo, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then after they went to bed, I'd sit up and watch the horror movies, and like Black Sheep, classic. It's the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes with sheep. You know what I mean?
Plus, people that turn the sheep by being bitten by sheep.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. But it was just like,
I love it.
Insane.
Yeah.
Especially the one where the sheep comes through the door like Jack Nicholson.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
I love and Killer Tomatoes has a new movie come out this year.
They just had a showing in San Diego on one of the aircraft carriers, right? And I got a letter in the mail, right? You can blah 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 blah, and I'm like, oh, I can only fly to San Diego, and that cost me a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah. But luckily, for the show, we had Eric Roberts was on the show a couple of months ago, and he's in the new Killer Tomatoes movie.
Are you kidding me? Oh my god!
So I'm like, that's awesome.
It's bad as George Clooney in Attack too.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, and of course the original Gomez Addams.
Oh, yeah. And it's funny, George Clooney will not admit that he was in that movie. He was there. So it was just funny. It was when the movie The Flash came out, right? Mm-hmm. And there was the rumors of him being in it, right, at the end and all that, right?
Yeah.
And somebody had interviewed him, right, and said to him, he goes, well, you've been in a lot of, he goes, so tell me about when you were at Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, right? And he went like this. Next question. Right. And it was hysterical because he did not want to talk about that. And the guy just, and they laughed it off and went on. Right. But it was perfect,
Yeah. That's awesome. I said, you should love your horror roots because most big actors started in horror. Even Tom Hanks started in a horror movie.
Really?
In 1980. Yeah.
What movie? What?
I think he's watching you or something like that.
Okay.
It was obviously The Burbs, but he knows you're alone.
He knows you're alone. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look that up.
Yeah.
That'll be Saturday entertainment.
There you go. But speaking of entertainment, Darbarian, if you said Graveyard, you need to watch this one movie. What would that one movie be? If you said I'd never seen it before.
What movie would I want to show? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. First of all, I'm a huge Godzilla fan. So how it works on our show, right? I'm the sci-fi guy. The doc is the horror guy.
Okay.
Right. Now I love horror movies, right? But I like sci-fi movies. The movie that I want to get on the show, right, and we can't get, right, is Godzilla 85.
Ooh.
Right? Yeah. One, it's hard to even get like on media, physical media, right? Because there was all kinds of issues with when it was released over in Japan and over here, and it was, and then it didn't show up on VHS for years,
Right. Yeah.
And to me, that was the Godzilla movie that brought Godzilla back, right? And then then the Toho. I mean, it was a Toho movie. Then Toho started having like that was at the Heisei era. Like they had a lot more movies going through the 80s to 90s, and then the Millennial series, and then that's when Legendary picked it up, and then we had Godzilla 98 when it, so Godzilla 85 would be the one movie I'd want to get.
Oh yeah, it's Roger Corman brought the American version here, put his own scenes into
it. God bless Roger Corman. Roger Corman has provided us probably with like 15 movies.
Yeah,
him and Russ Myers, right? He never saw a breast he didn't like, Russ Myers.
All right, so Matt, what on the other side, what is like one IP or franchise in the horror world that you just don't understand the love for? Not to bash on anything, but just not everyone's, not every genre is everyone's cup of tea. What's your like least favorite, I guess?
Holy cow, that's tough. I mean, like I have a lot of individual movies, right, that are just horrible, right?
Yeah,
like we had Blood Farmers on, right? We had our very first movie that we had on was Killer Driller.
Yes.
Okay? Yes. Oh my God. Talk about a baptism of fire, right? So you have to picture, right? In April of 24, right? The guy that runs the station, John Rios, right? He's the boss whenever he shows up on the show, right?
Yeah.
He posts something out there. Hey, he wants to start a horror show and he's looking for hosts, right?
Yeah.
So me, right, at the time I was unemployed, right? I'm like, I want to do this. And I had been doing my movie reviews for years. I had done a couple of like posted movies I put on YouTube, right? Yeah. 5 people watched it, So I said, I'd really like to do this. Meanwhile, John Murray, who plays Dr. Dredd, right? I had sent John Rios, the station manager, when I was on Dr. Dredd.
Yeah.
Right. I had done an appearance on there, right? So I sent him that. So he got us mixed up. So he wrote Dr. Dredd and say, hey, do you want to be on the show? I can't wait to get you on there. And Dr. Dredd's like, who are you? Right. And then he goes, aren't you the Mad Darbarian? He goes, no, that's John. But no, that's John Bossong, not John Murray. Then he sends me an email, right? And then he's like, I'm like, dude, I can't wait. Oh my God, let's start, right? And then he goes, but there's this other guy who you on the show with. Do you think he'd want to do it with you? And I'm like, I don't know. Who? And he goes, Dr. Dredd. I'm like, oh, great. Writes Dr. Dredd. Yeah. And then I write him. I'm like, dude, you want to do this? And he's like, yeah, what the hell? So then we get our first list of movies, right? And it was like, really, Blood Farmers, right? Which was just piss poor. Killer Driller. Oh God, there was a doll movie in there, and I hate doll movies, And then it was just like public domain, but more modern ones.
Yeah.
Right. Like Killer Drillers was like 79 at it's public domain. And I was like, well, why don't we like try to get some of the classics, So we did when Joker 2 came out, right? I said, hey, why don't we do The Man Who Laughs? Right?
Yeah.
Silent movie, right? Which is for like audiences today, that it's a tough sell, right? But I did my previews all week. We have the Joker coming on and right. But I would show that, the Man Who Laughs face, right?
Right.
And we had so many comments from people, right, that had never seen it, right? We're like, wow, that was a work of art. I'm like, it is.
Yeah.
Then Halloween came and I'm like, let's do Nosferatu.
Ooh.
Right.
Yeah.
And we did it before Nosferatu, the regular
Eggers. Yeah. Eggers. Yeah.
And we did that. And to me, that movie is amazing. Right. And just like how it hits like popular pop culture, right? I mean, like it just Nosferatu, like like with Mr. Burns from The Simpsons,
Right.
That's Nosferatu. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's walking like and it was just like amazing, and how much it followed the book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What book?
The original Nosferatu.
They didn't rip anything off.
Oh no! Well, remember, like they buried that for years. Because they didn't get official permission.
Right. Yep.
But then I think that was it was a movie. One of the best copies of the movie was saved when they had the fire at Universal. I think that was the story behind it.
Yeah.
Because it got back, like the family didn't want it, and they threw it aside. They burned a bunch of copies. Then Universal Studios had a major fire, and a lot of those movies burned. Yeah. Right. And this one just happened to this copy happened to be saved.
Yeah.
And that's the copy that we have now, that is out there. That's public domain.
Right. That's what I have Nosferatu on Laserdisc, of course, because I have to.
Now, you have it on Laserdisc?
Yeah.
You have a Laserdisc?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Now, that's somebody who likes physical media.
I have about 450-ish horror movies on Laserdisc.
Wait a minute. On Laserdisc or Comcast or DVD?
Laserdisc.
Wow. So what do you do if you need a part for your Laserdisc player?
People repair them. Wow. It's absolutely amazing that there's an underground community that's still there that just repairs them, and it's just astounding because I actually had a conversation at Days of the Dead last November with Roger Avery, the co-writer of stuff with Quentin Tarantino. We talked Laserdisc for like 40 minutes.
Wow. If you know anybody that does Betamaxes, let me know.
I still have my parents' Betamax.
Do you really?
I do.
Oh, wow. Because my father was a bill collector, okay, in the 70s. And where I grew up in Darby, right? Darby is like the south side of Chicago, right? It's the baddest part of town. But it's not a great place to grow up. My dad was a bill collector, and growing up, what he would do is when he would go in to repossess something, if there was money owed on it, he could pay it, and then it was his, right? So we were the only family in my town, right? In it's like 77, that had a Betamax, right? And if we wanted to rent a movie, are you old enough to remember what Photomat was?
I don't think I know that.
Okay. Photomat was this little house that they would put in the parking lot that you would take your film to. They would send the film out to get developed and come back.
Okay.
Well, what they started to do is they were like, we got their people like videos. So you would go to the Photomat, you would get a list, a piece of paper list, pre-Excel, but it was like written out like it was in Excel.
Yeah.
Of the movies they had that you could rent, right? So you would tell them, right? It was sort of like Netflix back in the day, right? And then a week would go by, that movie would show up at Photomat, right? You would play it, and then you'd take it back. But it was like, and it was all Betamaxes because that's what was out then,
Yeah. I had this conversation with my co-host last week or week before, and I try to figure out when this happened in my life because I remember going to our local family video with my parents. I was probably like 3 or 4. This is late 80s. One week we got Betamax. Next week they go, we don't have Betamax anymore. They're all gone. It was like 88, 89 when that happened. So I remember when that war finished. And my parents going, we had to get a VHS. So we still have the Betamax with the wide remote control, the 12 channel buttons on there.
Oh, God. Did it pop from the top?
It sure did.
Yeah.
So that's I love that stuff though. But
it's funny, we have a ton of Betamaxes. So my mom passed away a couple years ago. My dad passed away in the 80s. But when my mom passed away, clean out the house, and my sisters are like, they had literally the box of Betamax they're going to throw away. I'm like, no. It's like, what are you going to do with it, right? I said, I'm going to take it home. I said, I will find a Betamax from like Mexico, because in Mexico, Betamaxes were like, that was the thing up until like the 90s. They didn't migrate to VHS until like the 90s, which was weird.
Right. Yeah.
And I keep telling them that, and I keep looking, and every now and then I'll see one on eBay and it says parts only, and I'm like, ah. So, because I got like, my high school graduation, stuff like that I want to copy over.
Yeah.
And you send them to these places. Like I sent it to a place to convert it, right? And like they're like, oh, we can't recover it. I'm like, oh
wow.
So, but anyway, back to horror.
Yeah. And it's horror. You're talking about public domain and stuff like that. So how do is your boss really picking that list for you guys, or do you have your own ideas with like the classics that you guys watch and review as well?
No. Well, I mean, for we try to get as many of the classic public domain movies on there because the guy John and the doc and I we want to try to make it family friendly. You know what I mean? Within the horror genre, right?
Right.
So we tend to get a lot of public domain movies, at least 1 G a month. So like the way we have it set, usually get 1 indie a month, 1 G a month, and then the other 2, whatever the boys can get or whatever. The doc and I say, hey, can we play this?
Yeah.
So like when we did Phantom of the Opera, right? It was the boss was like, I don't know how well it's going to play. I'm like, I just watched it. I'm like, guys, this is a work of art. You know what I mean? So the boss watched it and he goes, let's go for it. And, the doc and I talking about the movie, we do our bits, in between.
Yeah.
We were just totally blown away because I had seen it before. In the Philadelphia area, there's a place called the Colonial Theater, which if you ever saw the movie The Blob, that's the theater the Blob comes running out of, right?
Yeah.
They have at least every other month a silent movie thing, right? And when they did Phantom, they actually had the piano, the organ come up out of the stage, the original organ that they had back in the day, right?
Yeah.
And he's playing, and oh my god, the guy, telling you, the guy, his fingers were running faster than Billy Joel. I mean, and it was amazing, right? So when we all watched it, like John's in Brooklyn, the boss is in Brooklyn. The doc, he's like 40 miles away from me. So we all watched it separately to watch it. And I was like, and I gave him like a note, like, hey, you guys will love this, that. There's one part when all the dancers are coming down the stairs and it's beautiful. It's just amazing what they did with the black and white,
Yeah.
And when it's just funny, a lot of times when they're trying to colorize those movies, right? I think it's a shame because what they do with the shadows, right? And how they work like the black and white and the sepia into the scenes is amazing, right? And no one thinks about that,
Right.
Yeah, and it blows me away. Especially when they go into like Phantom of the Opera, when they go into the sepia with the word cards, right?
Yep.
Right. It's like people back then were like, "Oh my god, it's color," but it's not. It's sepia,
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, that's something we're trying to integrate and that we're trying to do with the 1920s decades of horror that we're doing. I'm like, it's got to be sepia tone. We hands down. We gotta make it look like it's rusted film. It's just like it's really
cracks in it.
Yeah. So it's just trying to figure out how to do all that stuff with indie money. And it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I think our first 3 decades we're gonna be all black and white for it, just because we have to. We're gonna have a classic Universal in the 40s. We're gonna have a atomic creature of some sort for the 50s because that's what the 50s sci-fi horror movies were all atomic creatures. You had the wasp woman and stuff like that. Everyone's just like, what animal mixed with a person can we create today?
Yeah. Tarantula.
Exactly.
Spider, oh god.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, come on. Look, Night of the Leopards.
Yes.
Right? Giant friggin' rabbits. Right now, granted, that was in the 70s, right? But,
Yeah. We watched that. We did one of our movies last year in June in Connecticut, and like we're watching this movie and like, can we get the rights to make a sequel?
hey man, like was it even Bones McCoy from Star Trek was in it, for God's sake?
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know? And the leisure suit he wore. Oh my God. I remember I watched it a few years ago on Easter weekend, right? That was, and I forget. God. But I think I don't know if it was my wife or one of my sisters were like, what year is this? I'm like, it's like 71, 72. They're like, oh my God, his leisure suit is horrible. They were all horrible.
Yeah. So, Mads, I gotta ask, obviously you tag a lot of stuff, but obviously there's, I would say, some hints and tastings of Mystery Science Theater in what the show you do has, right? Is that kind of like what the mentality was when you guys created the show or Cemetery Cinema?
Well, when we first, how the show evolved, we first did the show. The guy that John, the station manager, John, he wrote the script, right?
Okay.
And as we were doing it, right, you learn things about your partner. My partner, John, had an eye injury at work. He's actually, and he can't see great. So he can't drive it. He can't see great.
Yeah.
So I got the script up on my computer underneath the camera, and I'm like, okay, your turn. And he's like, he can't read it, right? Because it was too far away.
Yeah.
So then what we decided to do is we sort of like had like a guideline instead of a script.
Okay.
And then started, and one of the things that the doc was like, John, just ad lib, just talk. He's like, first you can talk. Obviously, you've picked that up, right? But he's like, you're funny. You know what you're talking about. Just talk. He goes, I've been doing, and the doc has been doing it probably 15 years.
Okay.
Right. He has his own show on the Monster Channel, right? He does Dr. Dread reviews, which he's been doing for 10 years, right? Which is also on the Monster Channel. And he steered me in the right direction to where we weren't all like scripted, right? And that's right. Mystery Science Theater, a lot of goofy things we throw in, right?
Yeah.
And then the doc is the king of skits. I try, right? I don't consider myself that funny. He is friggin' hysterical when he does his skits, and that's one of the things that, that works, with the two of us, because he is somebody that knows the business. He's also a fan of useless trivia, right? And my end, like I'm a project manager for what I do normally. I'm semi-retired now, but project manager. So I was writing the scripts. I have like Excel spreadsheets with things to, and both Johns are like, wow, like you're really into it. So I'm like, God, I have to be organized, So we have it's funny. We have a Google spreadsheet from day one up and through right now till the end of this year of all the movies we're going to do. And then the dates we're going to film and, where everything is located. Right. And it's just funny because they'll just say, we'll pick out the movies we're going to do. Right. Then it's my job to line everything up. Right. And then write the script,
Yeah.
And it's fun because, again, like I said, I'm semi-retired. So I'm at home. So I'll get up, and if I know we're going to be filming like the following week, every day, for the week ahead, I'm watching a movie, writing a script, right? Doing a preview, right? Getting it approved. And then, the next week we go up to John's house and he has a larger area. And we use his green screen and we do the show and it's fantastic.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. Like I said, for our movie review stuff that my co-host and I do, like our intro and our outros are pretty scripted, but everything in the middle, off the cuff. We're not going to know what each other's going to say in the movie reviews until we talk about it. So the spontaneity is great.
So we had Frankenhooker on about a month ago, right? I love Frankenhooker.
Yes.
Okay. And before the movie even started, right? We're like, guys, this is a hard R, no kids, blah, 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 right? And the doc never knows what jokes I have, right? So I figured, right, it's Frankenhooker, right? A lot of TNA, right? So I'll get some dirty jokes, right?
Yeah.
So, and I usually do like 8 to 10 jokes. Did the jokes. They were all, I was pissing myself. I was laughing so hard. But they were all dirty jokes. The doc and the station manager were like, okay, right? We have to chill a little bit with, like, you know, the sex and gore, right? And the doc he has his brand, right? You know, more of the, you know, the universal horror kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it was, and you know, but it was just like, it was like, I loved it, and it was kind of like, ooh, you know, a little bit too much. You know, and thank God we're not like on broadcast TV, you know, like a UHF station, because basically you would have had us at the beginning and then 2 hours of redacted, then us at the end for Frankenhooker. You know?
Well, it's like we watched last year before Life Force for Toby Hooper, and
no, she's walking naked.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's not doinking everybody. That was the thing.
That's very true. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's horror. You know, it's good stuff. And you were like, why did Life Force not get so popular? Because they couldn't show it anywhere.
No, yeah.
You know,
and I thoroughly enjoy all of the goofy ones that they had, like in the 80s, like Basket Case, right?
Yes.
What a trilogy.
It went very differently for 2 and 3 from the first one, but yes.
Oh my, three. But you know, and then they got the freak sex and my God, right? And then Chopping Mall, right? You know, Poultrygeist. All of those movies are movies that, like, I love. You know what I mean? I love the satirical parody comedy kind of ones, you know?
Yeah.
And I hope we can get more. You know, like every now and then, John he'll fall into like the Basket Case trilogy, right? He got the rights to them, right? Wow. And it was kind of like, you know, like a little win, yeah, because I mean, there's only so many public domain movies. Now, granted, in 27, we hit the mother load of all 33 movies, right? So we're going to get Dracula.
Yep.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I don't know. Maybe Frankenstein, I think. But then starting next year, right? And then we get the 32, the 33, the 34. All those movies are going to hit public domain, and I can't wait. I can't wait for King Kong. You know, that's going to be amazing. You know, and the thing is, every horror host in the brother is going to have them all on first thing in the year, right? We'll probably have all ours on like this time of the year, you know, because everyone else is going to have them on early, and as well, like even though we're a family community of horror hosts, right? We are competing with each other,
right?
Fan bases, you know,
and
that goes with ads and all that kind of stuff. So,
for sure. All right. Well, we are about at the end of the show here, so we'll get some wrap-up questions. Wow. I know it goes by fast. It really does.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite scary movie?
My favorite scary movie. Oh my goodness. Well, like I said, The Wolfman is my favorite, right? I'm gonna go with the original Dracula with Bela.
Okay.
Right. And just the way, I mean, like I've seen Bela in a lot of other movies, right? Actor, right? In Dracula, he is Dracula, right? Frank Langella is not Dracula. Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee. Bela Lugosi is Dracula, right? And just the little one-liners to the whole movie. Like, I mean, at the beginning, we got the cockroach crawl or the bee crawling all out of the little coffin, right? And then you had him going when the wolves are howling, you know, listen to the night, you know what I mean?
The children of the night.
The children of the night, right? And it's like so many good one-liners, and it like drew you in, you know? And I remember, again, I saw that on our local horror host, Dr. Shock, for the first time when I was 6, 7 years old. And it grabbed me and pulled me in, and every Saturday afternoon when it was miserable out, that's what my dad and I would do. Dr. Shock was on for 3 hours. He would have two movies.
Oh, wow.
Right. And when it wasn't miserable out, right, and it was nice, we had the Betamax. That's why I want to get a Betamax, because I have some. I know when I go through the pile, at least one of Dr. Shock, and then we have Stella. I don't know if you remember her. She was Saturday Night Dead out of Philadelphia.
Okay.
She was sort of like an Elvira ripoff, but she was like an Italian Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah.
I grew up with Svengoolie, of course.
No, I love Sven. We actually had him in Philly. So after Dr. Shock passed away in 79, in 81, Son of Svengoolie was on. They actually was a competitive station, right?
Yeah.
And I remember watching it going, because Dr. Shock looked like Roland or Zachary.
Okay.
Remember me defer, because Dr. Shock actually took Zachary's place when he left to go to New York, right?
Okay. Yeah.
He looked like a ghoul, right? Svengoolie just looked like he looked like an old-fashioned Undertaker with the hat and all that, right? It was totally weird, and it just didn't make it in Philadelphia. You know what I mean? Which was a thing, because now, I love going back and YouTube and watching his old shows, because it's kind of funny when you look at him now. I mean, now you're glad he's like me. He's like 30 pounds heavier. You know what I mean? And
for sure. All right, next question here.
Yep.
Practical or CGI?
Yeah. I go with the practical, because just like I said, the Wolfman's transformation, right? Or even Dracula's transformation into the Bat, right? To me, was amazing. Now you expect it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But watching that as a kid, right? And, I'm like, wow, oh my God, that could actually happen. Oh my God. You know what I mean? Because it was new and different, Now when you got the CGI, right, you expect the guy to turn into the Wolfman. You know what I mean? You expect the guy to turn into a Transformer or whatever.
Right. Well, I mean, we expected the newest Wolfman movie, the guy to turn into Wolfman. He didn't, but yeah. All right.
Everybody's trying to grab that dollar,
I know. All right. Are you ready for your random trivia question?
Random, hit me.
All right. In which movie from the 1950s did Raymond Burr play a character named Steve Martin?
Oh my God, Godzilla.
Yep.
Steve Martin. Steve Martin, Steve Martin, the comedian, took his name, right? I forget what his real name is. Probably like Joe Douglas or whatever, right? Took his name from that movie, right? Because he happened to see the movie before, a couple days before, and he couldn't use his regular name, so he just wrote in Steve Martin.
Yep.
And they took it.
All right. So before we go, where can people find you, learn everything about you in Cemetery Cinema?
Well, you can catch us on WW. All right. So you want to watch us on the computer? It's WONNewYork.net. Okay. And we're on every Friday at 8 o'clock. We also have our own Roku app. So if you go to the Roku store, you type in WWON-TV. You get our app, right? Download, boom, you click on it, and if you want to get a hold of me, just go in Facebook, YouTube, anywhere. I'm on everything except for this butterfly one. My son keeps telling me to get on. I can't figure it out. Like Blue Sky or something.
Oh yeah, Blue Sky, yeah.
He's going to get me on it, but he's got me on Threads and all these other ones. I forget. But look up at Mad Darbarian with a D, right? Like it's written right there. And I'm everywhere, And like I said, tune in to Cemetery Cinema. If you get a chance, tune into the Monster channel. It's also another Roku channel. My co-host has 3 shows on there. One's his review show. One is his Swamp Theater, which I'm on occasionally, right? And, in WON, we have every night a different horror host. We got the Tennessee Macabre guys. We got Melania. We got the Midnight Movie. We got Offbeat Cinema, which is, out of all the horror shows that are out there, Offbeat Cinema as a hosted show is fantastic. Not only do they have horror movies, right? They have What's Up Pussycat, right?
Okay.
Woody Allen.
Yeah.
Because they have the weird stuff. It was like, What's Up Pussycat? Then the next week they had Werewolves on Wheels. Right? You know what I mean? So, and they're on after us on Friday. But we have Creature Features. We have, I think it's 12 different horror hosts.
Oh,
and then we have, in the Philadelphia area, we have Mr. Lobo and we have Sally, a zombie cheerleader. They're on the station, but they're also in the Philly area. So we work with them a lot when we do our conventions and things like that.
Awesome.
See them a lot.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Mad Darbarian, for coming
on. Hey, man, thank you for having me on.
Of course. And for anyone new here, doesn't know us, follow us on all social media at Pod Out Night. And we'll see you next time. And don't get lost in the void.
Don't get lost. And yo, guys, keep it creepy. See you this Friday on Cemetery Cinema.
Bye.